Welcome back. Time now for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me right now is Banríon Capital Management CEO Shana Sissel. Also with us this morning is Adam Johnson. Shana, thanks very much for joining the conversation.
Excited to be here.
Great to see you. We want to talk about earnings, third quarter earnings in full swing, and for the most part, better than expected. Caterpillar missed on earnings, but they beat on revenue. Higher borrowing costs were the issue there. Sticky inflation also led to a slowdown in machinery demand, according to Caterpillar. The stock is down about 4% right now. Eli Lilly also reported a double miss, hurt by higher manufacturing and acquisition-related expense, despite soaring demand for its weight loss drug. Eli Lilly shares right now down almost 7%. And then there's Alphabet kicking off big tech earnings last night. They reported a double beat with its AI products, boosting the company's cloud revenue by nearly 35%, $11 billion in that cloud revenue. Stock is up 6.5% right now. We are going to hear from Microsoft and Meta after the bell tonight. And then, of course, there's Amazon and Apple tomorrow night. These could be real market movers coming up, particularly Apple. What are your thoughts on earnings season so far, and particularly in big tech?
So the Alphabet earnings is pretty exciting. I'm somebody who's kind of on the record as being a major bull of NVIDIA. And if you listen to the call, the CEO really talked about how generative AI and the AI tools that they're using for search is really increasing interest and more search activity on the Google search engine. And we like seeing that if you're an NVIDIA bull, because that means that you're starting to find ways to monetize AI. These companies have been investing, and so this is really bullish if you're on the AI trade in any way, shape, or form. He also talked about the cloud, which again really benefits some of the semis. And I think, Alphabet is not seen necessarily as a leader here, and you see Meta is. So Meta and Microsoft coming up next, I think that kind of tees them up. And I would expect to see strong earnings from them as well. And
Adam, I want to get your take on the election here, 6 days away. You say a divided government is historically positive for the stock market. The party-focused stocks baskets may be telegraphing an upcoming electoral outcome.
Yeah, well, conventional wisdom is that Trump is good for markets, Harris is bad for markets. Trump because he's going to lower taxes and cut away regulation and drill baby drill. Harris is the opposite. Okay, fine. Conventional wisdom, Trump good, Harris bad. But hang on a minute. If you actually look back historically since World War II at the different combinations, what you would find is that the best combination for markets is a Democrat in the White House, Democrats in the Senate, and Republicans in the House. You get an average return of about 16%. And interestingly, that's what we've actually had for the past 4 years, right? We've had a Democrat in the White House, Democrats in the Senate, and so the reason for this is that everybody keeps everybody in check. Nothing crazy happens. You don't swing too far to one side or too far to the other.
Well, the reality of it is, though, Adam, right now, I don't know that the House is going to be, the Senate is poised to win, it looks like,
Agreed.
The GOP, but the House could be Democrats. So that's not in line with what you're saying.
Well, but it doesn't matter whether it's Republicans in the House or Republicans in the Senate. The key is that you have Republicans in one of the houses and Democrats in the other.
Okay, got it. You just, now I follow you.
Yeah, now you want that. You don't necessarily want to see a wave. Actually, if you look back historically when there has been a red wave, across all three, White House, Democrat, Senate, the average return is about 13% for Republicans and only about 9% for Democrats. So the market would rather see Republicans than Democrats in a sweep, but what the market really wants to see is divided government. That's where that's the sweet spot.
I get that. We'll see if it is a sweep, though, because people are talking about a sweep in terms of the Republicans right now, although they had that guess before with the red wave comments for the midterms. Shana, how do you want to be invested going into the election and year end? I mean, I know that you're focused on alternatives to equities as well.
So right now the polls are showing that it's basically a tie. And I think that actually is pro-Trump, because we all know that people are not necessarily honest about voting for him because there's negative connotations publicly and people get concerned about impressions. Exactly.
Right.
So they're not necessarily honest with the people doing these surveys. So I think that's pro-Trump. For me, I think we're going to see exactly what Adam talked about. We're going to see kind of this divided House and Senate. And so I am bullish on equities because of what we just discussed. But I'm negative on bonds. I think that the rate cuts that everybody's been anticipating aren't going to happen. Our economy's stronger. So I'm positioning with alternatives and liquid alternatives in particular. instead of fixed income in our client portfolio.
Liquid or alternatives? What's one example?
So like hedge fund type strategies, like one would be CBLS, which is the cloud hedged equity, which is long short, long some stocks, short other stocks, and then gaining value by being good at stock picking on that respect. Things like that, because they protect on the downside, but they give you equity exposure.
Look, I want to know what these big tech numbers are going to show this week, because I know
they're going to be good.
Yeah,
I think so.
You would think, given the run up in these stocks, and I think you made a good point in terms of allocating money to AI, and what we're seeing is corporate America now on board investing in AI, because for a while here we were talking about AI, but it was all the tech companies really buying the AI products.
I think, Maria, every company has to become an AI company. In the same way that if you go back about 10 years ago, every company had to be an e-commerce company.
Yeah, that's right.
Then every company had to be a cloud company, right? Well, now every company's got to figure out how to be an AI company. And the easiest way to play that is NVIDIA plus the Magnificent Seven. I think the earnings are going to be very, very strong, and I think you need to own all these names. I do for my clients.
And NVIDIA is not out for a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, November 20th.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad's birthday.
November
Oh, really?
20th. All right, well,
Excellent.
we'll remember that.
That'll be a good birthday present for him. Buy NVIDIA.
November 20th. Shana, great to see you. Thank you so much. Shana Sissel. Adam, you're with us all morning, and we appreciate that very much. Quick break, and then former President.